Good morning, and welcome back to the farm. Today, well, every spring, this particular day is very, very special because today is kind of the passing from the winter to the spring or summer, depending on the year. We're going to plant tomatoes. So, the varieties that we're going to plant, or I've got some special ones this year. This one comes from Haas, and it is Celebrity Plus. And if you notice, you only get 10 seeds per package, and I got 2 packages of them. So we'll see. We've not done these before. We typically grow regular celebrities. Got these from Burpee. And Supersauce. We also got these from Burpee. Now, Burpee is a great supplier as well as Haas, so I'm sure the seed quality is very, very good. But I am excited to see an improved celebrity, if indeed it is improved. And we'll put them out to the field trials here, very shortly, and we'll see what happens. The reason why we use these two particular varieties, the celebrity and of course the Supersauce, is that we have grown these for years and years and years and have had great, not good, great luck with them. These are all hybrid seeds. If you're one of those open pollinated people, that's fine. Whatever works for you in your particular location. So, let's get started. Now, we are using something very different. These are Jiffy Pops. They're about, give or take, 1.5 inch per cell. And we put them in a flat. The reason why we use these instead of our typical 128 with the imp seeder and all the other things that we do is simply for one reason. I have a lot of help when it comes to tomatoes. Everybody likes to plant tomatoes. They're a very nice, very fun kind of thing to do. So when you have a younger child or even teenagers come to help, you need to make it as easy as you can for them. So we use Jiffy Pots. Now I understand some people even use bigger trays like this for their tomatoes. These are 3x3s, and that works too. Anything you can use. We've used cups with holes in the bottom. We've used just about anything you can think of, but the idea is to make it easy, or at least easier for me. Well, and everybody else too. So let's plant some tomatoes in our Jiffy Pots. We've got 50 cells here, and we'll plant more tomatoes than that, but for demonstration purposes, this will be the only flat that I show. So let's put some dirt in here, huh? This is our Miracle Grow potting mix. I've talked about dirt before. Just remember, dirt is simply the starting medium where this all begins. After the seeds come up, it's up to you to give them what they need to grow, to be fruitful later on. The process is the same, by the way, whether you're using our typical 128s or these Jiffy Pots. You can buy these kits, I think, at local retailers where they got a little dome and all this stuff. Of course, we've got a germination chamber here. We don't really need all that. But if if that's what you need, more power to you. So, looks like we got our dirt pretty well where we need it to be. Pick out some of the big goobers here. And we're going to wax on, wax off like we do with everything else. Try to press the soil down. Get some of the bigger stuff out. Now, let's drop it a few times. And go ahead and compress the soil again. Again, picking out some of the big goobers. I'm not sure what these are. So, let's start off with our, let's put a few super sauces in, huh? There's 25 seeds in here. These are not your round tomatoes. These are actually ones that are meat tomatoes. We use these for ketchup, salsa, that type of thing. So what I'm going to do is, to keep from losing the seeds, I'm going to use the imp seeder, but only as a seed holder. As you can see, that just wouldn't work. So we'll put a few seeds down here. And so let's take our seeder, and this is just easier for me how you do it. If you've got fingers that work well for you, that's okay, but I only use the one hole here to put my seeds in. Try to center it in the cell the best I can. Now, this particular variety is an indeterminate plant. What's that mean? That means that that plant will continue to grow throughout the entire season. So this plant might end up being 20 feet long. Probably won't, but it could. So what you need to remember is to have your support structure when you go to put it out there to handle an indeterminate plant. Now, that means heavier duty, some sort of trellis cage, something. We have concrete reinforced wire that we put our tomatoes in, and this year we're going to trellis some as well. This dirt really makes it nice where I can see the seeds. I don't get too many of them in here. And I only do one seed per cell because of we have an advanced germination device, our germination chamber here. And we're going to get 90+% germination in darn near everything. We've got it cranked up this morning. It's not quite warm enough to put these in yet, but it will be soon enough. And so we're about to finish our Supersauce. It has been the weirdest weather year so far. We are in the end of February. I'm planting tomatoes, which is not that unusual, but it's been 75, 80 degrees. Today, and hopefully I'll get through this before it all comes, but we're due to have thunderstorms, severe weather, all the stuff we always get, but usually much later in the year. Very interesting. You know, maybe there is something to this global warming, although, who's to say? When I was a kid, it was all global cooling, you know, back in the day. So let's swap seeds and get some of our regular celebrities out. Now, you notice I have left the seeder, the imp seeder, right where I had it, even though I'm not using it as I normally would with our normal flats. It does help me keep track of where I'm at in the seeding process. So let's get our regular celebrities out and bring that down here. So 35 seeds in this one too. Thank you, Mr. Burpee or Burpee Corp or whatever you are. Now, before I put the first celebrity seed in, I'm going to put a marker here so I know where I'm at. I'll go back and write what each one of these are. But I don't want to get them mixed up. Now, obviously, they're going to look a lot different when they grow in the field, but as I'm putting them up, again, as I mentioned before, these are indeterminate plants. Now, a celebrity is a determinate plant. A determinate plant means it only grows to a certain size. And that's a little misleading because they still grow pretty big, depending on how good a tomato grower you are. Let's put some seeds in. So let's go ahead and put our normal celebrity seeds away and get the high-powered ones. At least we hope they're high-powered, huh? Okay, these are our Celebrity Plus tomatoes. These are our test tomatoes for this year. I hope they do well. Regular celebrities not only produce well, they're not super big tomatoes. If you're into big tomatoes, you probably need to grow big boys or something along those lines. But these give us consistent, consistent growth and super, and I mean super, disease resistance. So I'm really looking forward to see what these can actually bring to the table. So we'll see. We shall see. Okay, here we go. Now I actually have 4 seeds left over. Thank you, Hoss. We'll just double up on a couple of these cells. And there you go. So now this is the first 50. Now we will plant probably another 50 before this is all said and done. So, but at least you understand how we do this. Now, what we're going to do is what we always do. We're going to put vermiculite across the top. Why vermiculite? One of the biggest reasons is they allow the moisture to stay in during the germination process. We'll water from the bottom, the moisture will come up, and the vermiculite will keep the soil damp. It also helps kill off fungus, bacteria, whatever, that allows our poor little seedlings to dampen off later in life. So let's put our vermiculite in. There's our vermiculite right here. I'm going to sprinkle some across the top. Doesn't have to be super thick, but it needs to be thick enough. Really can't use too much. This stuff's cheap. And if you notice, I never stick the seed in the dirt. I always let the vermiculite take care of all that. And there we go. Now I'm going to straighten it up a little bit. And there we go. We got our vermiculite, our 3 types of tomatoes, 3 types, varieties of tomatoes, and our vermiculite. Everything is good to go. So now what are we going to do? We're going to bottom water. Why bottom water? The soil will absorb the moisture from the bottom, promote root growth to go down. You'll be surprised, in just a few days you'll start seeing roots coming out the little holes in the bottom of these cells. It's kind of cool how it works. So let's put water in the tray. Here we go. Last time I did this, I spilled it all over me. If you were watching my, I think it was broccoli video. And that's okay. We'll fill it up about half full, give or take. Now, we're going to leave it sit for about 30 minutes. Make sure the vermiculite absorbs, or the moisture is absorbed through the soil and the vermiculite. And once it's done, we'll put it in the germination chamber, and it'll be up in just a few days. Goings-ons around the farm right now while we wait. Still waiting on goat kids. Those does are big as a house. They're ready to drop. We're about to have some calves. We've got egg production is way up again. Spring is almost technically here, although we don't get a lot of spring. We have cauliflower. We have cabbage, onions, and lettuce hardening off. Those will all go out. We have broken ground, and it's a busy time of year. We are currently, this is the end of February, first part of March. As you can see, the water is starting to seep up. Now, with a peat pod, it takes longer. And so we're going to go ahead and put this in the germination chamber so we can move on to the 1,400 other things we need to do. But nonetheless, we will check this to ensure that this is very, very wet, so that the germination will happen successfully and hopefully within the next 3 or 4 days. Usually 3 or 4 days for tomatoes, sometimes as long as 6, depending on what's going on and varieties and all that, but these particular varieties are tried and true, 3 or 4 days at the max. So let's put this in the germination chamber and move on. Here's our tomatoes in the germination chamber, and it will not take long. 78 degrees, 80+% humidity is where these things will blow up out of the ground in a very expedient manner. You know, of all the stuff we grow here, tomatoes are some of the most fun. And the biggest reason is, especially the little kids, the little grandchildren, they love to go out and pick tomatoes. You can take buckets out there and they will just keep picking. It's a lot of fun. Hopefully you learned something today. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Until next time, I'll see you down at the barn. Any comments on the world situation today? Yeah, I get it.